Hello again, everybody. This video is going to be labeled 5-1 Stand Tall, and this is a video um, about my fifth week, first day in U.S. Navy boot camp in Orlando, Florida. And keep in mind, when I went into the Navy, it was shortly after I turned 17 years old, and I went to boot camp down in Orlando, Florida, which was very, very hot in July. And the the days in boot camp at that time, it's been years ago, was labeled the week in the day of that week. So 5-1 was fifth week, first day, and it was a service week, which meant that that week the recruits were allowed to go out. Well, we weren't allowed. We were told to go out and work different areas at the Naval Recruit Training Command. Um, and some worked in RIF, recruiting in formation, a recruit indoctrination facility where they issued the your uniforms and your toiletries and stuff like that. One of the where I went to work was the galley, which is the enlisted dining facility, and I was the cook captain. And what I did was I was the one that was responsible for keeping the syrup canisters for the fountain drink machine, um, you know, in operation. So it was a good time. It was a good break from all the hassle for actual boot camp for our training. But anyway, um, I thought about this video for a while because a lot of people are a lot of veterans that I talk to now. They talk about the changes in boot camp and um, how much more lenient it is than when we went through. So I went through in July and August of 1981, and like I said, it was in Orlando, Florida, and um, we were supposed to be out on the grinder, which was big square area of concrete. That's where we did our march and drill exercises, and we was out there for a while, and we marched back to our berthing. And what do you know? We had a surprise berthing inspection, and the inspectors were actually company commanders from um, other other companies in our division. So um, one thing that they also did was they cut the air conditions off in the barracks in Orlando, Florida, in July. Actually, this would have been August. But and it was really hot in there when we all marched back up to our barracks, and um, so everyone's standing at the lockers while these inspectors, other company commanders, come by and they check, make sure your all your uniforms were folded and creased and everything, the way the Navy regulations required it, and they they would go through and find something wrong with your uniform. And that was the reason for cycling you. And cycle at that time, it meant that they would put you through a series of exercises. Remember, it was already hot in there because the air conditioners were turned off. So they had us doing 8 count bodybuilders and jumping jacks and bug crawls and regular push-ups, all kind of stuff. And um, they had me doing push-ups, not because of something that was wrong with my uniforms, but we were supposed to look out after each other, our bunkmates. So I think, in the bottom rack, and so the guy in the top rack, his something was wrong. I don't know what it was, but anyway, so they was exercising both of us at the same time. Now there's 80 recruits, so everybody was being cycled or exercised. Well, they they had me doing push-ups. And remember, when I went in the Navy, I only weighed 129 pounds, and I went in, a week. I enlisted a week after I turned 17 years old. I was just a kid. Well, they had me doing push-ups, and my nose started bleeding. I was doing push-ups, and there was blood dripping up my nose onto the tile floor or deck, under my face, and it scared them. And they got me up, get up, get up, get up. They sent me into the head, the bathroom, and told me to clean up, clean myself up. And my company commander, who was not involved in cycling us, he come in there and into the head and said, "Recruit Sloan, you don't have to go back out there." Well, I thought it was a setup. I thought they was trying to see if I was a quitter, because that was a big thing in boot camp. Don't be a quitter. You're letting your company down, and all this stuff. And well, I thought it was a test. I thought he was trying to get me to say, "Oh, okay, yeah, yeah, I'll stay right here with the rest of my companies out there, getting the shit worked out of them, on exercising." So I kept saying, "No, I don't want to be a quitter." I was such a dumbass. I wasn't dumbass. I was just ignorant and young and dumb. But anyway, he said, "No, no, serious. No, you don't have to go back out there." And I persisted. No, no. A senior chief petty officer, I forget what his name was. He actually come from the ship that I was actually soon to be going to after A school, USS Dwight D. Eisenhower. But anyway, he said, "Well, okay, just cool down a little bit, keep yourself, get yourself cleaned up, and I'll come back and get you." Well, I think he was going out to tell these other company commanders, the ones that were doing the inspections, "Look, this dumbass wants to come out here with everybody else, because he's too stupid to realize that this is his break. He don't have to come back out and deal with all this. So just go easy on him." That's what I'm thinking probably happened. Well, I come out there after I cool down, and as I was coming out the head, which was at the far end of the front of the barracks, I heard a chanting, "Womp womp 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 womp," which that I hadn't heard that in boot camp yet. Okay, so I went back, and I'm standing at attention by my locker at the foot of the rack, and I'm hearing womp 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 womp. Well, in the Navy, they have this thing called attention to detail. That means that, like, when you're at attention, you're not allowed to move. If you're outside, the gnats start eating on your face. You're not supposed to be doing that. You're supposed to stand at attention, your eyes straight ahead. Well, that was just bugging the crap out of me, wondering what that chanting was. Womp, 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 womp. And I'm standing at attention, and I let my eyes move to my left to try to see if I could see what was going on. Well, I didn't realize that when I was looking left, a company commander, one of the instructors, was on the right, looking right at me, saw my eyes moving. So he comes over. Believe it or not, there was nothing wrong with the uniforms in my locker. I paid attention. I did what I was supposed to do, but he did find, I think somebody bumped my lockers, and he found one of my skivvy drawers, my BBDs, was like a quarter of an inch, if that, off center of the other 6. And so he reached in and grabbed it. "Okay, nosy, you want to see what you want to know what's going on? Go ahead, go join him." So I took my underwear and went into the went up to the front of the barracks, and there was 3 guys in my company that was standing around a fire pail, which was just a regular, just a metal pail, had a little bit of water in it. Now I made number 4, so now there's 4 of us dumbasses that are. We've got a piece of our uniform. I had my underwear in this pail, and I'm 61 years old now, and I was just turned 17 then. All right, and I still remember what that chant was. We were acting like we was washing our clothes. And the chant was, "Rub-a-dub-dub, I'm a Maytag washer, my parts never break down," over and over and over. And, it's just one of them things, Navy, boot camp, they get in your head and stuff like that. But I never forgot that. And I tell you what, my clothing drawer would not pass inspection now. There ain't no way. It's neat, but it's not like it was in boot camp. But anyway, I figured I'd share that story. Just a memory for boot camp in 1981. All right, we'll see you next time.